people interested here, 2v2, Calderis Refinery, blue team. Commissar Vocaloid is a big stumpy Hive Tyrant, very durable commander, walks through objects and cannot be suppressed. Some good offense, disruption and support. Begins with a basic synapse. Alongside Phoenix is a Grey Knight Brother Captain, durable commander also that walks through objects and cannot be suppressed. Some good offense and support fights in melee combat. And red team 187 is a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and disruptive commander, lots of great manipulation and control abilities, begins in melee combat. And rounding off the teams is a very angry Warboss. This is FrozenVapor, fights in melee combat, some very good offense, disruption and support from the front lines, and also walk through objects. And this is one of the elite schemes, which I forget the name of. Double termagants for Vocaloid, and Phoenix with a strike squad. From the look of the chat, it seems like blue team went random perhaps and got these two commanders, two heavyweights, so you might see the Chains of Torment in tier 2 from 187. Warboss getting smacked around by this brother captain who uses his awesome starting ability, We Are the Hammer, buffing his speed and increasing his damage resistance. You see that yellow buff circle there. Warboss getting into trouble, pushing way too far, way too quickly. FrozenVapor, he's not going to get a model, not going to get close to getting a model, and the Warboss is forced off. Now it's just sluggers and double shooters versus stormtroopers, strike squad and this brother captain. Another stormtrooper squad on the way. Strike squad taking a lot of damage from those double shooters. They really do pour out some serious piercing damage, and that's without their upgrades as well. Meanwhile, west side, Tyranids starting off well for Commissar Vocaloid. Hive Tyrant pushing all the way up against these Chaos Space Marines, the perfect commander to send into Marines early on to tie them up. Heretics backing away a bit. Hive Tyrant is forced off, and the double termagants backing away. Hormagauts capping that contested power. The power configuration is a bit weird on this map, since one player must look after both of the natural victory point, natural powers I should say, on both sides. So if that player has a bad game and those powers get pushed, it's pretty much all over usually. We'll see how it goes. Strike squad still with 3 models, down towards half of their hit points though, and a pain boy on the field for FrozenVapor. This could cause all sorts of problems for Phoenix if that guy gets in amongst that strike squad, supporting those sluggers, and the sluggers now have burners, and there you see that heal over time from the pain boy. Pain boy himself does power melee damage with a damage over time, so that will really hurt that strike squad. At the moment he's just holding them up so the strike squad can finish the cap, and there is the cap for a 2-to-1 for blue team. Stormtroopers in retreat. We might see one, maybe both of those guys getting grenade launchers to try and hold off the sluggers and disrupt the shooters. These guys caught in retreat by sluggers and a little bit lucky to get away without a model lost there. The brother captain dealing quite well with the pain boy, forces him off, but now he's getting shot to bits by a whole bunch of Ork Dakka. He hadn't realized they was going after that wreck point to decap, but now he realizes and runs away. Burners used to burn down the node. We might see a Gen Bash if these shooters can get up quickly enough. Just leave the VP in my opinion, go straight for the generators. No, he's going mid. 479, 462. Stormtroopers are coming back out, so that wouldn't have been quick enough anyway, so good decision there in the end by FrozenVapor. Havoc's on the field for 187 with double Tzeentch worship, which infiltrates even the worshipping heretics themselves. Warrior Brood on the field for Vocaloid. No sign of the Barb Strangler yet. Looks like he's keeping them in melee combat for the time being anyway. And there is that instant suppression from the Havoc's heavy bolter. Warrior Brood are a synapse creature, so when these guys are killed, they will unleash a synapse backlash, and all these termagants and the Hormagauts will fall on the floor and take a bunch of damage. If they're close enough to be affected by the backlash, it makes Warrior Brood almost instantly targeted by everything, because you want to take them down as quickly as possible, get those synapse backlashes going, and you cause Tyranids all sorts of problems with that. Hive Tyrant charging in quite well with the extended carapace. Only if he had his rending talons right then, that would have been devastating for all those heretics. We do have an aspiring champion squad for 187. In fact, both of the heretics have aspiring champions. and a Rhino on the field for Phoenix. This thing now starts with this gunner on top with that Storm Bolter. Has heavy infantry armor, much like the Sentinel. Can't decap with it though, but you can, of course, transport your infantry. So you might see these stormtroopers get inside, roll out, shoot stuff, get back in, run away. Be very, very annoying for these Orks. We do have double big shooters, I think. Yes, gives you that instant suppression from aiming. What's that? Won't help against the brother captain, of course, as he can't be suppressed, but he does have Blessed Aegis and the Unending Purge, so he's going to be pretty tough now. Shooter boys get charged and forced off. Warboss in amongst a whole bunch of Tyranids, and he has his spiky armor and angry bits. Slug is now chasing down the Rhino, trying to get hits off with those burners, which are power melee weapons. Tyranids staying in play. Doesn't want to send the Hormagaunts into that Warboss. The spiky armor will wreck them. Here come a couple of heretic squads. Not what we want to see on squishy Tyranids. Warrior Brood did lose a model. He's sending the Hormagaunts back into the Warboss. I don't think he knows about that spiky armor. Almost loses the entire squad. He must know by now, surely. He must know after that. Double Termagants, one of them with the Toxin Sacks, and tier 2 for blue team. They are the first to go. No power harasses really from either team. We did see the node going down thanks to those sluggers early on, but that was quickly replaced. 471, 423. Our Space Marines with their Eternal War. All of this stuff infiltrated. He knows the Havocs are around though, and there is that suppression. Double Heretics thought about charging in, but thought again. No sign of grenade launchers for those Stormtroopers yet. There's that Doom Bolts flying in. Painful on those Termagants. 458, 423. Brother Captain backing away. Hive Tyrant needs to come back into the field. Here he comes. Have any of the commanders leveled yet? No. Warboss has the Power Claw queued up immediately. Lots of Dakar on the Gen's going to get at least one of them here, I think. No. Oh, shooters will finish it off surely. The CSM, I think, that finished off the generator. The Rhino does not offer reinforcement. You can give it vehicle armor in tier 2, and in fact that's what he's doing. Takes the hit points down to 500, there it is, where it now has vehicle armor, and you can give it another weapon on top. Looks like he's going for a las cannon, and that will work in unison with that Stormbolt. This Rhino doing really good work. That's parked right in front of those shooters and shot them down. Not sure exactly how much DPS that Stormbolter does. Someone can check on the codex and post in the comments, or you can check yourself. 402, 423, triple cap for the red team. That Power Claw Warboss is forced off. He's still level 1. He's fully kitted out. This guy needs to get some work out of him to justify all that expense. Did well versus those Hormagaunts. Pain Boy's forced off. Since FrozenVapor is now in tier 2, this guy will now have the unstable fuel injection for free in tier 2, which allows him to detonate a allied model. I assume you can only target Orks with it, but you might even be able to target allies. 354, 423, you can only target Orks with his heal. 187 going for a Chaos Dreadnought, might be Mark of Khorne Dreadnoughts, which are very popular for the Sorcerer since he can teleport them out of trouble, and those Mark of Khorne Dreads now of course have that melee resistance aura. So these Crushing Claws that the Hive Tyrant just purchased will be far less effective versus that Mark of Khorne Dreadnought, assuming that's what it's going to be. Here it is, and there is the Mark of Khorne on the way. Gives it those 2 close combat claws, and a Grey Knight Dreadnought on the way. Begins with that Twin Linked Heavy Bolter, which has done quite well from what I've seen. Puts out a surprising amount of damage, and when you combine that with other forces shooting, you can suppress targets. It is unfortunate for that Dreadnought to lose its multi-melter, which is a fantastic weapon of course, but there are other anti-vehicle targets and bleed potential. The reason why people love that multi-melter so much is because it bled infantry targets with one shot a lot of the time, if they weren't Marines certainly. But this is a massive engagement here. Doom Blast going off, the Tyrant Guard going straight into shield wall. being attacked by that Warboss. Heretic's kind of milling around now. Massive engagement. Hive Tyrant going ballistic, taking out Marines, but he's going to go down. Level 2, and down he goes. No, he did a sync kill, but down he goes eventually. 348, 389. Tyrant Guard in a bit of trouble, needs to charge out. There is the charge. You saw his shield wall self-heal earlier. Is he going to get away though? And here is that Grey Knight Dreadnought with that twin-linked heavy bolter forcing off the Warboss immediately. We'll see what this guy can do. I've not seen it very often. Chasing down some CSM. Havocs with an autocannon. And being shot to pieces by that Dreadnought alongside these Stormtroopers and this Strike Squad. But here comes a Mark of Khorne Chaos Dreadnought using Blood Rage too early. Look, now it's just sat still. You need to actually have a target in sight for the Dreadnought to charge after. Yeah, you can't use it too early or just sit still. 348, 358, 2-to-1 cap for blue team. It's stuck because he used it too early. Weird Boy on the field for FrozenVapor, you saw it early. And fantastic anti-blob abilities this guy has. He's gone for Warpath early on, and looks like his Dreadnought is bugged out, has it? Not seen this before. 348, 344. VP's basically evened up, and it's a 2-to-1 for blue team. We do have some Marco Tzeentch CSM. Now the Dreadnought's moving, and the Grey Knight Dreadnought going for the second close combat weapon, giving him 100 DPS heavy melee and the awesome Maelstrom ability, as you see there. Note that this Dreadnought does not have the wrist mounted flamer that the Space Marine Dreadnought does have, which can do some work for you as you run in. 348, 324. Warrior Brood are a detect unit, so they can see all of this infiltrated stuff, but they don't want to get this close. It's a crazy move from Vocaloid, and he is forced off immediately. There's the Hell Fury strike from the Grey Knight Brother Captain's Global Bar, and he's running into melee combat with some stuff. He needs to tie up those CSM, I think. It was to tie up that Havoc. There is the Chains of Torment. Blood Rage used on the Mark of Khorne Dreadnought. Warboss buffing the heck out of himself, gives himself hard boys, and use your choppers, and this is a dead Grey Knight Dreadnought. Certainly gonna go down here, and the Mark of Khorne Dreadnought lives for now. But down it goes thanks to the Rhino. Both of the melee walkers going down. And the resistance aura didn't really help him out there, did it? 348, 316. Shot down by las cannons. Vocaloid and Phoenix both tier 3, and so is FrozenVapor and Grey Knight Terminators on the way for Phoenix. So I think FrozenVapor is going to want to go for a Battle Wagon or Flash Kits, not a Nob Squad. Stormtroopers wiped out for Phoenix, and he's now looking a bit thin going into tier 3. 187 also going tier 3. Did he not have the red to teleport his Dreadnought out there? I'm not sure. Tank Busters on the field with FrozenVapor. Can he finish off this Rhino with them? Here comes a Tyrant Guard to help out the Hive Tyrant. Crushing Claw versus Power Claw. Crushing Claw will win that fight. 108 heavy melee DPS from this thing. That's more than a Dreadnought at level 1. Doesn't have the splash damage of a Dreadnought, of course. Tyrant Guard not too shabby in melee combat either. Needs to back away though. Carnifex on the way for Vocaloid. We'll see what he goes for. I've said it again and again. All of the Carnifex upgrades are superb. Thornback very popular now, of course, with the melee resistance aura, and it's always been awesome just charging in and wrecking stuff. But we'll see. No other vehicles on the field for red team anyway, so we might see the Barb Strangler to suppress massive blobs and do huge chunks of damage. Double Tzeentch Worship again, some Chaos Terminators I think coming in for 187. Here we are. Might see some Lightning Claws on those guys to just shred these warriors, and in fact we are seeing Lightning Claws immediately purchased by 187. 310, 316. Weird Boy gets a nice cheeky shot in. Have we seen the Warp Bomber yet? We might have seen it in that big engagement earlier. 2-to-1 cap for red team is very even. We might see a massive engagement here Grey Knight Terminator is moving in. They do have an Incinerator, and they also have that new ability, of course, Holocaust, which is awesome. We'll see how that goes. Chaos Terminator is shredding this poor Tyrant Guard. That super heavy infantry armor going down in seconds. And there is Chains of Torment. The Grey Knight Terminators are stuck. You need to destroy the central mass. You see that red health bar going down. That's the central mass. And now it's down. Now their stuff can move again. 269, 316 Knob Squad on the field. FrozenVapor purchasing these guys before he saw those Grey Knight Terminators who just shredded that Warboss. Good grief. And we do have a Nemesis Force Halberd on the brother captain as well. So we're going to see some crazy melee fights here, I think. This Knob Squad has Chaos Terminators and Lightning Claws backing them up. Are we going to see some Gene Stealers from Vocaloid? He's going for a Thornback Carnifex. Knob Squad have their sights set on the Rhino. These guys doing heavy melee damage, and that is Frenzy. So they're immune to damage and suppression, but they are being knocked over by that Warrior Brood. Very brave Warrior Brood there, and the Knob Squad are forced off. The Rhino did go down though. Here comes that Carnifex. 226, 316. Phoenix has a lot of resources. He might, he can't really drop a Land Raider Crusader, unfortunately for him. He needs a lot more red, so he's going for some Paladins now. You are now limited to one Paladin squad, so you gotta make it count. Chaos Terminators trying to back away. Carnifex charging through, taking tons of damage on that auto cannon, and now Tank Busters lending their hand. Hive Tyrant still down there. Looted tank on the way for FrozenVapor. Carnifex playing it safe and backing away. No, he's not. He's going after the Chaos Terminators, who teleport away from the Grey Knight Terminators. These guys pretty lucky to have all three models still. And there's that Infiltration. Fantastic utility all the way through the game. Infiltration on demand. Incredibly powerful. 194, 316. Paladins will hit the field momentarily. Vocaloid had tons of resources. He must be saving for a Swarm Lord, I suppose, assuming he has the population he does. Chaos Predator on the way for 187. I'm assuming a Marco Tzeentch Chaos Predator. Here's that looted tank. Has reinforced plating already. This guy can disrupt infantry with a big boom shot. Quite unique among tanks. Chaos Terminator is back at base now. There's a lot of healing up to do though. 194, 299, double cap. Here comes Chaos Space Marines to retake their natural victory point, fully upgraded with Eternal War Aspiring Champion and Mark of Tzeentch. Swarmlord is on the way for Vocaloid. Here are those Paladins. Those heavy melee demon hammers, and these guys now have a new ability called Holy Grounds, which boosts the speed of allies and reduces the speed of enemies. It's incredibly powerful. Helps Paladins both chase targets and escape from danger. We'll see how it goes. Only have one of these squads. Remember, they used to have a health regeneration aura that was removed in favour of that Holy Grounds. Tank Busters decapping Strike Squad don't really have the DPS to stop them here from range. Should be forcing melee combat surely. 194, 247. Not sure why he stood there shooting him, but he has forced them off eventually. They did decap though. So, are we going to see a massive fight mid again, or is someone going to try and flank around? Quite difficult to flank on the, especially on a 2v2 version of Calderis. You are basically instantly spotted as you walk by the allied points, since they give you line of sight. Marcus Tzeentch CSM capping the Weird Boy, throwing in the Warboss to try and revive this Chaos Sorcerer. Nice thinking. Is it going to work? It does work, and the Warboss levels the 4. Can the Sorcerer get away? Can the Warboss get away? There's a nice save from the Weird Boy, but he just wasted his Warp Vomit, and that could be huge in this coming engagement. We do see, oh, it's a Mark of Khorne Chaos Predator he's gone for. Surprised at that, with 2 Terminator variants and a Carnifex and that Swarm Lord, which he didn't know about. A Las Cannon would have been a lot better, I think. Crushing Claw Hive Tyrant going after that looted tank immediately. Massive engagement here. We still have that double Tzeentch worship, and here comes that Swarm Lord. granting a reinforcement synapse and a speed synapse. So this Carnifex is going to be charging around like crazy. So is that Hive Tyrant. Now we have some buffed knobs. User choppers used, buffing their damage and giving them an insane amount of melee skill. I think it gives like plus 60 melee skill, which basically means they're never going to be a victim of special attacks. 164, 246. Can a Knob Squad survive this onslaught though? Mark of Corn, Predator tank with some good fire support there. Needs to back away. Looted tank coming in. Need to be careful with your tanks. Hive Tyrant might be able to get on rear armor of this thing. 155, 246. Brainite Terminators back to base. Did not lose a model, luckily for them. Paladins. Do they have? They do not have a wrist-mounted weapon yet. Hive Tyrant trying to finish off this looted tank. Brother Captain smacking up some tank busters. That Nemesis Force Halberd with a splash damage power weapon. Level 4. Hive Tyrant's almost also level 4, I should say, almost level 5. Predator attack, knocking back the Warboss. He should be able to win that fight though. What's the health difference between them? Brother Captain has slightly more health, but he's still going to get forced off by that Warboss. 144, 243. Down goes the looted tank. Paladins now with a wrist-mounted sight cannon, which was buffed slightly in 2.3. I assume that value is up to date with 2.3, but it might not be. Land Raider Crusader coming in from Phoenix. So he has Grey Knight Terminators, Paladins, and a Land Raider Crusader. He's got a full tier 3 here. 144, 227. FrozenVapor. He's getting bled out, reinforcing his knobs and stuff, I think. Now lost that looted tank. Should get some flash kits up, I think. Learn his knobs and that tank for AV and his Warboss. Turn of formation from Commissar Vocaloid. Disrupting stuff, doing damage. Double Heretics tanking like crazy, but they need to run away. There we go. Land Raider Crusader is incredibly scary. Hurricane bolters on the side sponsors. That's 6 bolters strapped together. Multi-melter on top and a twin-linked assault cannon. This thing can suppress from long range, which makes it hugely painful to deal with if you're trying to use infantry anti-vehicle squads from range, but it just suppresses them. Las cannons and stuff can usually outrange it though. No sign of any more AV from the red team. They need something. Maybe a beamy death gun looter squad from FrozenVapor will do a lot for them. I think I had the feeling he just wants another knob squad here. 144, 183. Flash kits would do a lot of damage to the Terminator variants and the Warrior Brood and stuff. There's a Venom Brood up now as well for Commissar Vocaloid, I should say. Swarmlord coming in, and there's that Leech Essence doing tons of damage to those shooter boys. Knob Squad going after the Swarmlord now. Some friendly fire from the Weird Boy, as we always see. 144, 175. Swarmlord turns to engage the Knob Squad. That's a mistake, I think. These guys with user choppers up on them, and look how long this buff lasts. It's crazy. Brother Captain and Paladins now in there helping out, and the Swarmlord does get away. Knob Squad forced off. Wow, down to 2 models, down to 1 model maybe? No, they do get away with 2 models with very low hit points. That was a good engagement for blue team. The remnants of the Tyrant formation still remain. Tank put under some pressure from the Carnifex, it looks like, but now it's being repaired. Carnifex being shot at. Phoenix using his teleportation to escape only, I think. I've not seen him use the Terminator teleport offensively once. Where are his Grey Knight Terminators? They're still healing up? No, they're guarding that natural VP. 144, 162. Blue team looking like they're in a pretty decent spot. Red team needs some las cannons and stuff. We do have tank busters here from FrozenVapor, the level 2. Reinforcing that Knob Squad, as you can see, bled him dry. 144, 152. Blue team doing a spot of gen bashing. Lots of dead Tyranids. I heard a bunch of synapse explosions there, and synapse backlashes will damage big stuff like Carnifexes. Doesn't knock them over obviously, but does take chunks of their health off. 2-to-1 cap for blue team. VP still incredibly close, but look at this. Warboss being annoying and decapping the VP. Terminators do eventually force him off, but need to turn around and cap. There we go. This Land Raider Crusader will allow you to reinforce, gives you health and energy regeneration as well. Does not allow you to retreat back to it though, like the Redeemer does. 144, 141. Those double heretics. Again, used just basically only for worship here for the entire game. That's what they've been doing since tier 2. Let's say these guys are getting shot to pieces. Hive Tyrant level 5. You might see the psychic scream from this guy. Really pretty good in this situation, I think. And I think he should get it. In fact, he's got tons of resources. Phoenix with a Grey Knight Terminator Librarian on the field. 144, 127. This is a dead Hive Tyrant charging into Lightning Claw Terminators. Is not good. And here is that Terminator Librarian. You can buff the damage with Codicum Aeternum. Shrouding also infiltrates you, buffs your damage by I think it's 25%. Also has that new ability Sanctuary, which we might see to combat this Knob Squad if they get close to the Crusader. He starts with Sanctuary, I'm pretty sure. We're not seeing it here though. Needs to get a bit closer than that. 144, 106. Use the Sanctuary. Phoenix is probably busy looking at other stuff. His Grey Knight Terminator is fighting a Warboss, and here come Chaos Terminators. Those Terminators now in trouble. Knob Squad forced off. Terminator Librarian. I think he has around 60 DPS heavy power melee. It might be 65. What level is this brother captain now? Level 6. Going to town on Chaos Terminators as Lightning Claw. So dangerous though. The most dangerous anti-infantry melee weapon by far. Hive Tyrant's going to be revived. I think there's a Hell Fury strike from Phoenix. 144-76. Blue team still in control. Red team needed some artillery or long-range anti-vehicle, I think, because these monstrous creatures have done incredibly well for Vocaloid. Really surprised that he did not go for the Marco Tzeentch Predator tank. It's done well. It's almost level 3. He's going for a Phobos. There we go. There's some long-range anti-vehicle, but can he keep it safe from the Paladins and this Crushing Claw Hive Tyrant as well? We do have a Genestealer Brood on the field, getting their Rending Claws, and these guys will be under melee synapse thanks to this Warrior Brood with Adrenal Glands. 140, 69 has gone for another looted tank. Probably thinking that a looter squad would just get mauled if he trying to set it up there. 134, 69. Capillary Tower from the global bar of Vocaloid, given a speed bonus and sight range bonus to these Tyranids. Does that stack with the Swarm Lord speed bonus? That would be crazy. 134, 69. Blue team firmly in control. Can the Phobos allow the red team to push? Oh, the brother captain just went down trying to decap it. What took him down? I don't even know. Might have been that Marco Tzeentch CSM squad and they retreated out afterwards. Predator tank could do with some repairs. This guy's level 3. Warboss trying to decap blue team's natural. And I think he's going to do it, but is he going to get away afterwards? He's got Ard Boys on himself, and there is Holocaust lifting him into the air thanks to those Grey Knight Terminators. It looks like he is going to get away though. There's that big boom shot disrupting the Genestealers, beautifully timed from FrozenVapor. 134, 49. Pick it off mid, is it? Havoc setting up. Well, they're going to get shot down from there. These guys really needed a last cannon, didn't they? There's that Hell Fury which might finish them off. I think it will, yes. Ouch. Oh no, Chaos Predator might go down. 6 hit points, just one more touch from that Hive Tyrant, but he in turn is going to go down thanks to those. Wow, how much stuff have these guys killed? These Chaos Terminator is crazy. Phobos on the field, very slowly on the field. Twinning las cannons on the side sponsons and twinning heavy bolter on top. Also has the Dirge Caster to stun and debuff nearby enemies that get too close. We'll see how it does. It's a gun platform, long range, large target destroyer. But can he keep it safe from all of this melee stuff? These Gene Stealers, just by themselves, with Rending Claws, are going to be so dangerous. Look at this, he's going after the Terminators with them. There's an Abyss, and that's a pretty damn nice Abyss from 187. Very nicely done. Nob Squad running into the Abyss to try and take down the Swarm Lord. Are they going to be able to do it? Yes, they are. Vocaloid stuck in the floor. Was he talking about the Swarm Lord there? I'm not sure. Hive Tyrant. He's using the Toronto formation here. Weird boy throwing all this stuff into trouble. 1-3-5-5, I should say. Blue team on the verge of victory. Just need to take their natural back and hold it for a few seconds. Warboss is not cooperating though, and here's that Phobos getting shots here on the Crusader. Down goes that Predator tank though, needs a bit of support this Phobos. 187 now looking quite thin. He does have resources, could get another tank up, but does he have time to? 1-2-5-5. There's the 2-1 for red, but blue team will take the natural back, and that should be it. There's a Vindicator Assassin late game. Yeah, looks like this is it. Carnifex taking down a looted tank, red team. I don't think they had enough anti-large target stuff, i.e. las cannons, beamy death guns. Some flash skits would have done really well for FrozenVapor, I think. Those blasters wreck Terminator variants. 1, 2, 4, 3. Oh, red team decapping mid somehow. Blue team are taking it back though. Those las cannons doing chunks of damage to those Terminator variants, of course, since they are large targets. Carnifex chasing down this thing, must be level 4. No, it's level 3. 21, 58 hit points. One last hurrah by the red team. Nob Squad moving in. Another Nob Squad on the way for FrozenVapor. Nob Squad's so attractive to purchase since they are pretty much anti everything if you can get them into combat. 1, 2, 4, 3. This Crusader's going to go down, I think. Down it goes. Blue team just unable to cap mid. Brother Captain's guarding the east side. Blue team are going to cap it now. No, they're not. Bloodletters spawning on the VP thanks to the Chaos Sorcerer. Demonic summon in there. 1, 2, 4, 3. Well, I said it was over, and I'm obviously wrong. There's another Nob Squad coming in. There is still a lot of blue stuff here though, including Gene Stealers, which are going mad. Still level 1. Vindicator Assassin caps the mid, and that should be it for the blue team. 1, 2, 4, 1. Good fighting to the end by red team. Well done to them. Just a few mistakes in composition, I think. These Marco Tzeentch CSM didn't seem to be mid very often, did they? They seem to be guarding this west side. Could really have done with all of that inferno damage on these Terminators. Those monstrous creatures cause so much trouble. Marco Tzeentch Predator would have been better, and some las cannons, maybe some beamy death guns or some flash kits to try and clean up these Terminators and force them off a bit quicker. But there you have it, guys. Some awesome action. The commanders really went to town on this game. Warboss level 5 had that power claw. Hive Tyrant level 6 was taken down a few times by these Chaos Terminators, wasn't it? Who did incredibly well, these Terminators. What about these guys? Those guys were being reinforced. What about the Brother Captain level 8, this guy? Nemesis Source Halberd, Blessed Aegis, and the Unending Purge. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.